What is a $180 Android tablet capable of? Is it any good for web browsing, firing up apps, do some work on it, or even play games? Are the display, speakers, camera, and battery life even usable? And what about the overall security? I'm talking malware. Today I'll take a look at the Blackview Tab 9 Wi-Fi, a 11-inch tablet based on Android 14. When taking a look at the deals online, on the manufacturer's official website, this tablet can be ordered for about $180 or for about 160 euros if you're based in the EU. First of all, however, I want to point out that on the one hand, there are really great and intriguing features offered, but on the other hand, unfortunately, there are also some significant shortcomings that come to light in today's review. That is to be expected given the price we're talking of. Nonetheless, I pose the question, is it wise to grab a tablet within this lower price range, and what would you use it for? As far as what comes included, actually significantly more than I initially expected. Namely, the tablet itself, out of the box already seated nicely in a decent protective cover or case, a USB-C cable along with a 10-watt charger, a tempered glass screen protector, some paper documentation, and your standard ordinary pin tool for ejecting SIM or microSD cards. In order to avoid fingerprints and dust particles as soon as possible, I immediately put the tempered glass protective cover onto the display, as shaky as my hands may wear. Of course, I only did a 98% clean job because there does appear to be a stubborn air or dust particle underneath it that wouldn't go away. However, as if by a miracle, it completely disappeared into thin air the next day, to my great surprise. I'm not complaining. In terms of aesthetics and build quality, the Blackview Tab 9 Wi-Fi certainly doesn't disappoint. Solid quality throughout. The device weighs in at 512 grams, so it's not super lightweight. Blackview deserves a big thumbs up from me for including the more than decent protective cover. This protects the device well. It is also automatically detected when the cover is being lifted, resulting in the display waking up. And if you put the cover back on, the display goes back to sleep. Of course, the tablet can also be unlocked using facial recognition, but there is no fingerprint sensor included anywhere here. The overall setup is very Google typical without too much integration of third-party stuff, although there are a few treasures hidden in the so-called DocOS based on Android 14. At the heart of the device is a Uni-SoC T606 8-core CPU along with a Mali G57 GPU. There is also 6GB of RAM, although you can expand and snag another 12GB from the ROM if necessary. The ROM capacity is 256GB, and that is pretty respectable within that price range, I believe. The remaining specs are rather ordinary, leaning towards poor apart from the battery. Let's start off with the display. It is an 11-inch screen, although to be exact, it is only 10.93 inches. The resolution is at 1920 by 1200 pixels. This gives us a respectable pixel density of 207 dpi. The sharpness appears to be good in theory, but in practice, I couldn't really say that it's particularly a sharp display. To me, it seems as if there's something wrong with the scaling, which could possibly be fixed in software down the line. Oh, and by the way, we are looking at a refresh rate of 60 Hz. Other than that, the IPS panel offers strong, rich, and respectable color reproduction, as well as good viewing angles. The touchscreen is okay. Not great, not bad, but sufficient. Connectivity. In fact, the Tab 9 Wi-Fi only sports a USB-C port for charging and data transfers via PC, for instance. However, if you remove the tablet out of its protective cover or case, there is a useful microSD card slot hidden for us, officially supporting up to 1 TB for storage expansion. Furthermore, the tablet also comes with the usual power button, volume up-down, speakers on both left and right sides, and a central microphone at the top. There is no 3.5mm headphone output here, which I think is a bit of a shame. Camera. The main camera boasts a maximum resolution of 13 megapixels, is based on a Samsung sensor, and can record 1080p 30fps video. The front camera offers 8 megapixels for one's mugshots and only 720p video recording. Neither the main nor front camera are particularly impressive. The photos taken by the main camera appear washed out and sometimes a little blurry, but at least the auto mode provides an acceptable balance when taking pictures against a bright sky. The front selfie camera delivers slightly better results and does shoot more natural in terms of colors at least, but has even more serious drawbacks in image sharpness. The result is also really grainy. It is therefore not surprising at all that the video recording drops off in a similar way. You shouldn't expect too much, and that's obvious to me. Still, I would have hoped for a better result, I'm not gonna lie. It almost seems as if it is not a native 1080p recording, but an ugly scaled version of it. Still better than recordings from the early 1940s, I guess. Audio. This is where things get problematic. The speakers can get fairly loud, but they do not produce decent audio quality. They sound very tinny and lifeless. In fact, I do not have any desire to watch videos or movies on this tablet down the line simply because of those poor speakers. Unfortunately, it gets even worse. The recording quality of the built-in microphone is a whole new level of bad. I don't think I need to comment any further on it. Here's how it sounds. This is a test of the built-in microphone of the Blackview Tab 9 Wi-Fi tablet. You can judge for yourselves what you think of the audio recording quality. Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Dual-band Wi-Fi is supported. That is 2.4 and 5 GHz bands. But we're looking at Wi-Fi 5 and not Wi-Fi 6. The Wi-Fi range isn't bad, however. The speed, at least with my internet connection, is totally fine. The audio quality via Bluetooth is very satisfactory, no negative criticism from me here. Operating system. As mentioned before, the OS P 4.0 is installed on here, based on Android 14. This means Blackview have implemented some of their own design and UI optimizations. Navigation can be done either the classic way, using the touch bar at the bottom, or by using gestures. And I think the overall feel and look of the OS is good. Not only can a lot of adjustments and customizations be made, but there are also features for organizing and separating apps into personal and work groups. Apps that should be frozen and locked away can also be added to the so-called cold room. Not bad at all. Something I loved seeing within this price range is the split screen functionality. This allows two apps to be run at the same time and displayed simultaneously on the screen for better multitasking. You could even resize the viewing area for each side. A small highlight for me as a PC user is the PC mode, with which you can practically turn your tablet into an Android mini PC with touch capability. And that's with proper, individually movable and resizable windows, a taskbar, and so on. For me personally, that is a phenomenal feature. Security. I keep my promises. I examine every device that comes with a pre-installed operating system and do my best to dig deep for viruses, malware, or generally questionable pieces of software. I ran numerous virus scanners such as Malwarebytes, Bitdefender, ESET, and Kaspersky, all of which were unable to detect any threats. While this is not a 100% guarantee, the device appears to be clean, and I didn't detect any weird behaviors with any of the accounts logged in. Performance. The performance for normal everyday apps like YouTube, Chrome, Instagram, and stuff like that is completely sufficient. Here and there you will come across the occasional hiccup, but all in all these apps start up fairly quickly. According to Blackview, this is made possible by smart preloading in order to get the apps up and running a lot faster. Of course, I also spent quite some time running benchmarks. Geekbench 6 only spits out modest performance results. We are ranking very low, as is obvious going by the score. It doesn't look much different in the GPU test. In the Antutu benchmark, I scored almost 270,000 points. Not bad, but actually just okay. In the 3D Mark Wildlife test, the trend continues. Not even 3 FPS is achieved on average. In the GFX Bench graphics test, we get even more detailed results. At high resolutions and graphic settings, needless to say, we're looking at slideshows pretty much. In the low-level tests, we are looking at a mere 20 FPS at the very best. What I basically am telling you here is that gaming is not really a viable option with this device. At least not if you have very high demands and expectations like me, who's used to a high-end PC. Tons and tons of simpler and less demanding games can be played without any issues though, but those more graphically intense titles either run with an awfully low resolution or low frame rate. Battery. The battery has a capacity of an impressive 8,200 mAh. It is charged using 10-watt quote-unquote fast charging. The battery life is great, there's not much else to be said here. In standby mode, it lasts for days on end, day after day, but even if I do web browsing and watch YouTube videos, the battery level drops only very slowly. Even after having run intense benchmarks for 1.5 hours, my battery level only dropped by 30%. This should give you a good idea on how long the battery lasts if you use the tablet normally. Conclusion. While the performance of the Tab 9 Wi-Fi is not super convincing, I have to admit that for the price of $180 or 160 euros, it delivers the best performance within its price range. That's coming from my personal experience and from what I've seen on devices owned by friends and relatives. By that I mean things like opening apps, browsing the web, and the device's overall responsiveness. Today's tablet is not exactly lightning fast, but it is no crutch either. So if you're looking for a fairly feature-rich and affordable Android tablet and don't have too high demands, you certainly could give the Blackview Tab 9 Wi-Fi a chance. If you do video chats or anything that requires you to use the built-in microphone though, stay away from this particular device. Other than that, this Blackview tablet at a price of $180 did manage to convince me overall. What are your overall thoughts on the Tab 9 Wi-Fi I reviewed, and tablets in general? Do you even own and use a tablet, and if so, which one? If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, or alternatively, hit the dislike button. With that in mind, thank you all for watching, and until the next one.